I'm Greg Jarrett, and you're in the strategy room. Comments by the president of a Democratic Super PAC are stirring some controversy. In an interview with Bloomberg Politics, Brad Woodhouse reportedly said of New Jersey Governor Christie, and we'll quote here, "We're not going to pull resources from Christie. We want to kill him dead." Joining us now to talk about it, political strategist Stephen Cobb and Matt Keelen. Matt, let me begin with you. Unfortunate rhetoric, to be sure, but what does it say?
Well, I would go as far as to call it disgusting, actually. Greg, look, this reeks of the Clinton machine from back in 1992 when they had the bimbo patrol in his campaign. If they're going to escalate to this point in 2016 to talking about killing a major Republican figure dead, it also smacks of some desperation. And I'd like to see what the Democratic establishment is going to do about these comments and what type of reaction the White House has.
Yeah. Stephen, what's your reaction to this? I mean, this guy Woodhouse, should he be verbally spanked, if not tossed out on his keister?
Well, I think you hit the nose on the head. It is unfortunate rhetoric. I don't think that those are comments common to Mr. Woodhouse. But looking at this in the kind of pantheon of Governor Christie's own comments in his state, these are kind of in line with the brash rhetoric that the governor often uses. I could see him using this from a podium and saying that, well, that's just how I talk. Clearly, Mr. Woodhouse wasn't wishing physical harm to Mr. Christie. He was, I think, focused on the campaign. And while such rhetoric should be, I hope, avoided going forward, I don't think we should make this bigger than it is.
Yeah, but, Matt, and nobody questions that this was anything but metaphor, as distasteful as it may be to a great many people. The irony here is that it was Woodhouse who not long ago was accusing Republicans of using offensive rhetoric, and now he does it.
It goes to, once again, the left having only double standards if they have any standards at all. Now, this is the guy that came out and was blasting Republicans after the Gabby Gifford shooting, and rightfully so, even though it was not Republican politicians using the language that he was talking about. But in this instance, he's really overstepped the bounds, and somebody from the Democratic Party needs to step up and have an adult conversation with him and his organization.
Well, do Democrats need to publicly address this and disabuse the rhetoric and engage in some measure of apology? What do you think, Stephen? And if so, who?
Well, I think it's kind of funny if the right's saying that because of one statement that we need to disabuse the rhetoric, whether it's Governor Christie or right-wing talk shows, as Matt was pointing out, have had far worse things to say, and there's been no general condemnation from the Republican establishment, quote unquote. Again, I think Mr. Woodhouse's statements were unfortunate. I hope it's a one-time thing going forward. But I think it's rich for the Republican establishment to start talking about a need for the left to come up and talk about to condemn one person.
Well, Matt, look, Stephen makes a valid point here. There's enough ugliness on both sides when it comes to rhetorical exchanges. But does this portend something really ugly? Because this race hasn't even started.
Well, that's my worry, Greg, is that, as you said, this race hasn't started, and this is going to be one of the opening statements without somebody coming out and saying enough is enough. And obviously the Republicans are going to say that. But we need some adults on the other side to say to this guy on their side, this is absolutely uncalled for, and you have to make amends for it.
Well, get out your flak jackets, because it could be an ugly race. Stephen and Matt, thanks for being with us to talk about it. For the latest on the 2016 race, stick with FoxNews.com. I'm Greg Jarrett, and thank you for watching.